Hello, my friends, and good evening. We had our first aid session today with the specialist, and I'm going to summarize to you what we discussed because first aid is something that is so important that it is better for us to know exactly what's happening before we panic. What happened, we discussed different topics, and this is, as you know, it's the first session among the many that we will be discussing. The first session, we started it with a very simple we started it with a very simple point. First, it's that the coronavirus is not over, okay, because the lockdown here in Lebanon started soothing, so they are allowing us, it's a soft opening, many institutions are opening, and somehow people are forgetting the basics. So it's better to keep on missing each other. Don't you go kissing and hugging each other on the streets or where you meet. Keep the mask on, keep the gloves on, and remain cautious. Once the coronavirus is beyond us, it's going to be beyond us worldwide. And still until then, probably it's better for a while not to kiss each other. I'm not stopping love. I'm being very honest. Let us just stop hugging and kissing each other for now, even on the cheeks, okay? And as far as the first aid and Red Cross, it's better to be ready than sorry and better to know how instead of panicking. This is basically was the main talk. We started the session by informing people about the emergency numbers. I hope you're all in whether you are in Lebanon or abroad, make sure you know the phone number of the Red Cross, first aid, the Red Cross, fire department, police station, and abuse emergency center. Okay, those four numbers are very important. In addition to, I'm gonna tell you what. In addition to specific doctors, if you have someone in the house with a specific case, it's better to keep the number handy. If you have children, it's better to keep the child pediatrician number handy. If you have an elderly in the house as well, it's better to do that. So basically, the numbers are so important. More importantly, please do not put those numbers on your phone only, because in the state of panic, the first thing that will happen is, oh my God, what was the Red Cross number? Oh my God, what was the doctor's name? To look him up in the phone, if your phone is charged and you know where it is. So those numbers should be always on a piece of paper. So let me tell you the numbers. Thank you very much. The numbers in Lebanon are 140 for the Red Cross, 125 for the fire department, 112 for the police, and 1745 in case you have an abused person in the house and you would like to report abuse. So I am gonna repeat, when it comes to first aid, it's better to be ready than sorry, and it's better to know how than not knowing than panicking. So the first rule is to know the emergency number of your country. Red Cross, fire department, police station, and abuse, especially in the lockdown. So I'm going to give them in Lebanon. If you're not in Lebanon, please try to find them wherever you are. 140 is for the Red Cross. 125 is for the fire department, 112 is for the police, 1745 is for the abuse center. And additionally, if you have a baby in the house, you need to write on that paper the number of the pediatrician. If you have a senior in the house as well, the health doctor. And any specific case that you might have, a specific medical case, please write that number on the paper. Guys, health, it takes a second for us to lose someone we love, and we always say, I wish I knew. I cannot tell you how many times I was at a restaurant and people near me fainted, or they were smoking, it was hot, they were drinking and they had issues. Really, all I said back then, thank you God, I know that the bare minimum I should do is like laying them down and elevating their feet for oxygen, for blood to circulate back to the brain, and they have oxygen and they wake up. So I'm going to summarize to you the session we did today with the first aid lady. And I'm going to tell you what we discussed, what are the needs. The second point we discussed was the needs inside the emergency kit. So we go back. The first point was, don't you go hugging each other in the soft opening after Corona. Okay, respect the distance, the social distancing for safety. Okay, keep the mask on and keep your gloves on. Okay, this is in terms of the soft opening for coronavirus. The second point we discussed was please make sure you know the emergency number in case you need them, God forbid, and let's hope you will never need them, but God forbid, you need to know the emergency numbers in your country. The third point, sorry, let me take a breath. The third point we discussed was the first aid kit. You need to have a first aid kit in the house, and you need to have a first aid kit in the car. They are different, okay? First and foremost, the first aid kit do not need to be in the bathroom because there are humidity, okay, by the water of the shower, and there is a hot temperature when you're showering. So we repeat, the first aid kit is never inside the bathroom. The first aid kit is never inside the kitchen. The first aid kit is never on a stand under a window where you have the sun showing in. So it is very important to have the first aid kit in a dry place in the house, away from direct sun and humidity. Okay? And this will be always, usually, it's either a cabinet you place it there or you place it there. Basically, personally, I tell you, never tell a child, okay, this is something you should not have. Always show it to the child and teach them the responsibility of not accessing it without your knowledge. Okay? Thank you very much for whoever commented. Anyways, we go to the first aid kit. What do we need inside the first aid kit? The first aid kit of the house is split into two. You have the everything dry, the everything that are the things you need, and then you have the medicine. So what are the things you need? You need what we call the, let me show it to you, okay? 1 second, I'm coming back. I'm here. Did you miss me? Okay. We need that. Okay? Because this you will use, not this one, this is going anyways, and some of those, they come wrapped. This, I removed it from the wrap. So those you have to keep them in the first aid kit, okay? Why? Because we do not use cotton, This is the kind of paper we use, the kind of fabric. You find it in the pharmacy, and you need to have it in your first aid kit. You need to have the bandage you use on this. Of course, you need to have the small band-aid for kids, etc. You need to have scissors. You need to have tweezers. And anything that goes inside the kit, you never remove it. You need to have the thing you wrap with, like this, okay, in case you're gonna need it. And you need and those are the dry things. Now, when it comes, not dry, those are the material you have. Now, in terms of the medicine, you need to have betadine to clean the wound, and you need to have Panadol in case you use it. Truly is you need to have the basics. And then you need to have, if you have an elderly in the house that has specific health problems and the baby, you need to have, like as you have Panadol for adult, paracetamol, you need to have paracetamol liquid for the young ones. And if there are specific cases in the house, you need to have their medicine as well there. Now, in case of specific, in case of injuries, surface injuries, what's very important, and you need, basically you need to have a soap, a cleansing soap. It's either soft that you will buy, but not with the one that has chemicals, things that will clean the wound. And as easy as, I don't know if you have them abroad, it's the original soap, the oily soap that is meant to be found in Lebanon, Egypt, all those countries, Greece, because they make the original oily soap. Because those, when you wash with it, the surface, and I'm saying today's session was only for surfaced injury. Okay, and she was talking how to detect, how to clean it. So let's say a child hurt himself on the bike or fell or etc. The first thing you do when the child comes in, olive oil soap. Yes, they make them. Well, I don't know if you have them. Sabun Arabi. It's our soap. She said because those do not have chemicals, okay? And she said there are many on the market. So, but basically I like the soap because we have it here. Okay, very good. So additionally, she said, let's say a child hurt himself. So you bring him inside the house. You wash. Yes, we do. Excellent. You wash the wound with drinking water. Okay, because our water in Lebanon, and I'm talking about us in Lebanon, it's not the cleanest water that comes in the faucet. While in some countries you can drink it. In Lebanon, no. So because of that, you clean the wound with the soap, but around the injured part, and you drop on it a lot of water for the water to flush away everything that got stuck. It could be sand, it could be little pebbles. You make sure there are no glass in the wound and anything like this. After that, once you finish, you bring a towel. Not the towel that was in the bathroom, okay? Because the towel in the bathroom, people already dried their hand in it. You bring a clean towel. You pat it around the wound. And anyways, when you soap the wound, when you wash it, you try not to touch the injured part. You wash around it and you flush it with water. Okay? I'm showing you my hand and I can easily do it like this. Okay? So you throw lots of water from the bottle on your hand. You flush the anything that's on it, dust, sand, pebbles, anything. Once it had, you pat it with the towel, with the clean towel on the sides, and then you bring that, a clean one of those, and you dry the wound softly. You don't rub it, okay? Not with water, not with soap, not with anything. You just flush away the everything, and with this you dry softly. After that, you bring another clean one of those, and you make sure you look at the wound and to ensure that the wound is at the surface, not deep, okay? You bring betadine, because betadine cleans the wound and it does not burn, and it would clean it and sanitize it. You bring betadine, you put it on that, you put tuck, okay, on the wound. And guess what? That's it. Because they believe, she says, do not put fusidine or any ointment on the wound. Just let it dry by itself. And anybody with good immune system do not need anything. Now, if you're worried that the wound, the betadine will dirty the clothes or the bed or anything, you just bring a clean one of those, you put it on it, and you stick it on 4 sides, okay? Now, I asked her about oxygenated water. She said the reason why we do not use oxygenated water, betadine, and yes, just to clean the top while, okay? Just little. You don't soak the wound, and you don't put mercurochrome, and you don't put. I asked her about eau oxygenée. She said do not use eau oxygenée. The eau oxygenée will coagulate the blood on the top of the wound. That's why we do not use eau oxygenée. They prefer to use betadine. You put it on it, and the thing is, now they have little packs at the pharmacy where you buy it. You rip it, you get one like those from the inside with with the betadine on it. You put it on, and that's it. Now, any child or adult who has no issues and no low immune system, etc., the skin will dry by itself. But I asked her what will happen is when we put this on the wound and it will get stick to the wound. Yes, betadine is very small quantities. She said the second day they can shower, they can do anything they want. Of course, don't put very hot water on the wound. But if you feel that this is stuck on the wound because the wound had little blood, you just soak it with water, and not very hot water or very cold, just the regular water, and eventually it will peel by itself. You just remove the sides and it will peel by itself. Be careful when you're removing it not to open the wound. Other things we asked about, she said the main and most important things when there is an injury and there is anything, is truly not to panic, okay? That's why you have to act calmly. She said, let's say that you had 2 kids running in the house and they were fighting and they fell, and you hear one of them crying and screaming, and the other one no. When you go to check on them, first check on the one that is not screaming, because you know for a fact that the one that is screaming is alive, while the other one, you don't know whether he's in a state of shock or like he had fainted, whether he hurt his head, whether things like this. So this is what you need to do. So first, you do not panic. Second, you ask someone with you in the house to call an emergency number if need be. And 3, you move on to checking your wounded people. The first thing you need to know is whether the head is hurt, whether the person is breathing, and is and the heart is pumping. Okay? And if all of those are okay, and you see that no one is hurt, you just go to make sure that there sometimes they could be breathing but in a state of shock. What you need to do if someone is in a state of shock, let's say someone saw blood and they cannot see blood, she said you make sure you lay down the person, you elevate their feet, and it's better to put them on their side. Usually it's always the hard side to get the flow to come to the brain, and you cover them. She said don't slap them, don't pat them, don't warm up their feet and hands, just give time for if they're breathing, I repeat, if they're breathing, just give them time for the blood to come as a flow to the brain, and automatically they will wake up. So you don't have to worry about that. Anyways, what's very important, as I said, it's better to be ready than sorry, and better to know how than panic. If you know what to do when you have someone injured, okay, you will not panic. Those first 8 sessions, we're going to have a series of them every Monday at 5 p.m. They're going to be live on Facebook, and I share them. Then I will be sharing them later on iChannel News and Broadcast on YouTube. So you have all the presentations that we are doing. Every Monday we're going to have the first 8 session, Monday at 5. Actually, we have a series of topics that we're going to cover. Let me read to you the topics if you have any questions for you. We're going to have injuries, bleeding, burns, a state of shock, blisters. We're going to have specific session on people with diabetes. And then we're going to have nose bleeding, fracture, choking, heart attack. And then we're going to have the summer safety that is important to all of us since the beach season is coming soon. Bee sting, jellyfish sting, sun safety, and water safety. And of course, how much alcohol to drink in the sun, and whether we should eat and swim or not. And all the questions that we always have problems with. And how much sun to sit in protecting your skin, etc. I always protect my skin when I'm in the sun. After I burn it, actually, the first few weeks, I start putting sunscreen. But this is not good. I have to take care of my skin. Anyways, I want to tell you I'm going to the beach soon. If the beach is open, I would love to go to the beach soon because I miss sitting in the sun. I miss being in the outdoor. And truly, this is important to be in the outdoor. Actually, I miss socializing because I'm one of those people who would sit and talk to people. And to me, everyone is innocent till proven guilty. So I like to talk to people. I trust them at the beginning. And at specific point, we'll see what will happen. So I'm going to please ask you to remember to go to my iChannel. Under my name, it's written the same way as it's written on here on Instagram. Please, when you go to iChannel, just hi Maria, hi Anam, hi everyone. So when you go on my iChannel, please remember to subscribe and you will find all the episodes there. I'm gonna remember what's important. First and foremost, this is the soft opening specifically in Lebanon for after the COVID-19. What's important, please, is keep your distance. Social distancing should remain. Make sure you reduce the hugging if you miss people. Hello, Maria. Okay, thank you. Make sure you reduce the hugging. Make sure you reduce the kissing. Please, I repeat, I am not telling you do not love each other, but love each other. Social distancing. Keep the hugging for later. It is important to keep the mask on and the gloves, and it is important to keep the space just until we really get rid of COVID-19 here, and I wish everyone the same. The soft opening started today, but really many people were not following the right thing. They were out without masks and gloves and hugging each other and etc. Really, I'm not telling you don't love each other. Love each other from far. Okay, do the spiritual contact. This is one. 2, we want you to know the emergency contacts in your country for Red Cross, for fire department, for the police, and for the abuse, as we are hearing lots of cases that are taking place in the countries due to the family pressure that is happening in every house. I'm going to repeat the numbers in Lebanon. 140 for the Red Cross, 125 for the fire department, 112 for the police, and 1745 for the abuse center. Please, those numbers should be written and placed on the fridge and on the emergency box. In addition to that, you write on the paper the emergency number of the number of the pediatrician, if you have a pediatrician, the near hospital, if you have seniors in the house, their personal doctors, and someone to contact in case of emergency. Let me tell you what I used to tell people all the time. I remember that during injuries, people panic. And the first sign of panic, if you're awake and you're not in a state of shock, you forget. One of the things you will forget is the phone number, okay, or the name of the doctor. That's why, to save your life and to save the life of the person in front of you, the first thing you need to do is have those numbers written in a clear place and saved where no one touches them. And it's okay to discuss safety with your kids. Trust me, they will not be afraid and you will not causing panic there. Imagine their panic if they are alone and they don't know what to do. Okay? So this is step 1. The second step, in case of injuries in the house, okay, first, you don't panic. You have to remain calm, and that's why when you know what to do, you remain. You can help yourself and the person with you. If you feel that the person across has something that could really contaminate you, just put a mask and put your gloves, and after that you will be fine. Okay? Try what's important is, in case of emergencies, is not to scream, okay? By screaming, the person that is injured, you will double his fear or her fear. You will double their fear. Therefore, please remain wise and calm. You know the numbers. You contact whoever is injured. 3, you assess the situation, quick assessment. If, as I said, you have 2 kids that were running and suddenly you hear the screaming, you run to them. But as you are going to them, remember one thing. The one that is screaming is alive, okay? You have to directly assess the one that is not screaming. Probably if he's on the floor, he's out of conscience, probably like he fainted or he panicked and he's not awake. So you have to assess the situation. And every time we have those sessions, I'm going to alert you about what she said we need to do. The third thing we discussed was what to have in the emergency box, in the emergency kit, the first aid kit. I told you what you need for the house, but I didn't tell you what you need for the car. In the car, definitely you do not put any medicine without the ice pack. So therefore, anything that is Panadol, etc., you always have to have an ice pack with it. But The things that are like when the beaches are open, I would say within a week or two, my favorite spot, the public beaches. I like public beaches. Okay. There is a kit that you can keep in the car that has those, everything else, etc. You need to have the attachment as well sometimes, and the scissors and the tweezers. Those, nothing will happen to them, but only the Panadol are things that should be transported in and out daily wherever you go. Okay. What else do I want to tell you? Do you have any question? First and foremost, the session is on iChannel on YouTube. You can go watch the whole thing. I'm sure you will find lots of interesting things that were mentioned by the specialist of the first aid. I'm just giving you a quick review. And so basically, this is it. Take care of yourself. And as I said, it's better to be ready than sorry, and it's better to know how than panic. Hope to see you enjoying your days and a beautiful summer wherever you are. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and stay healthy. Anything else before I leave? Bye-bye.